Elden Ring. This was one of the games of the year. It beat out God of War with a lot of awards and achievements, and it was critically acclaimed, right? Um, I gotta say, it was my first Souls game, and to be honest, it was pretty good. Now, I'm not gonna say that I didn't have my trouble with it as far as difficulty with these games go. Once you kind of get your formula down and you figure out how you want to make your build and how you want to attack it, it gets a little easier. And this game is very forgiving in a lot of places with summoning other players to help you out, which is an awesome feature, by the way. Uh, Sometimes I did wish that, you know, me and Dashi or me and Crusader or anyone else could just play the whole time and not have to do the summon thing just because it would put a lot of people off. A lot of people don't want to have to do that. But regardless of that, it's a cool mechanic and they do it so that the game doesn't become too easy. And it's very doable if you do it on your own and you don't really call in anyone. So I will say, uh, I personally enjoyed Ragnarok more, but uh, that's with my reasoning. And part of my reasoning, well, I'll get into it. So, first, just say a little bit about the game and what I do know about my main character. You're called a Tarnished, and a lot of other players are considered Tarnished as well. And so, this world is made up of there's gods and demigods governing certain areas of the map. And from what I understood with the story, um, a good amount of these demigods, if not all of them, actually became corrupt. And some higher power summoned the Tarnish from lands that were far away to come help and cleanse this land. And that's why you end up in this area. It's kind of why you end up in this kind of church when you first start the game. Uh, but that's mainly what I can say about the Tarnished. But as far as the lands, there's 5 areas, and there's 5 of the big demigods that you have to beat. And they're pretty fun. I actually had a couple that I really liked myself, which became some of my favorites. Maybe not to fight. I just thought their design was pretty cool, and they kind of resonated a bit with me. But aside from that bit of information, this story was probably the hardest in any game I've ever tried to follow. Like it was nuts trying to just follow along and see if I could kind of figure out exactly what's happening. And part of that is because they don't just give it to you. Like they don't tell it in cutscenes. There's items you collect, and with the items, they really have descriptions, and the descriptions are how you're supposed to move your story along. They say they do that, or as far as fans, people will always defend the game or defend developers or whatever, and I'm not knocking it if it works for certain people. I'm just saying for someone who's just introduced to these types of Souls games, it wasn't my flavor. It wasn't my cup of tea. But they made it to where you got to read item descriptions to even know how to further some of the side quests. And to be honest, there's a lot of side quests in there that I just was like, man, screw that. Because like some of these dudes would just be like, ah, I see you found the relic of the butthole. Meet me over by the I don't know the meet me over yonder in the fields of booty and make sure that you bring that specific item with you, and then they just disappear. And there's really just an item description that tells you where to go next. That really was not my flavor. It was really weird. So probably 8 times out of 10, I had zero idea of how to progress something. um, a lot of them I just straight up let go. I just was like, this ain't even worth it. Some of them I just had to straight up follow a YouTube video, but it would have to interest me for me to do that. And I know it interests a lot of people, this world, how they set it up. I'm sure, you know, it won the game of the year for a reason. Uh, Partially why God of War was my game of the year was because it was so much easier to follow. Um, the characters were familiar. Norse mythology, I thought it took the I thought it took the cake. But look at this game. I mean, that's not to knock this game. It's a very pretty game. I think my biggest issue is I am a story follower to the T, and I was not able to follow this story at all. Um, so I mean, if I were to kind of rate this game and how this was voted on and for me to follow it and to try it out, I would probably give it an 8.5. Just because the story was it was so hard to follow. You had to put an effort to get story out of this game. And to me, I'm like, dude, I kind of want my narrative, and I want some good writing, and I want to go forward with that. And that just it really did not work for me. And a minor gripe, uh, I guess, would be sometimes a bit of linear, bit of the story would have helped, just because of that you could go anywhere style that they went with this. It made it a little tough to know how to progress the story, or like just to put it bluntly, how to progress, right? But I mean, it was very, very polished. There was no real bugs that I really ran into. No other big complaints or nothing. Um, oh, that one point I made, it would have been cool to just invite someone and just play, right? Like that would have been really nice. It didn't always happen. Uh, to be honest, it like rarely happened. There was maybe like two castles that allowed me to summon people in the very beginning of the castle, and we could run through the whole thing together. Other than that, you beat somebody up, they're gone. Period. But that comes with this type of game. And would I play it again? Probably would. I would just have to accept that the narrative is like more for you find it and make it yourself. So, I mean, with that, I'm going to kind of show the end of the game here. These were the guys that helped me out. And apparently, I got the good ending. Uh, I didn't know that there was multiple endings until I got to the late game, or basically until I got here. So I'm going to show a bit of that, and you guys let me know if this is the best ending. But I was told it was, and let me know what you think about my character. Um, Hopefully, I look cool. I know I look a little dusty right now, but just tell me what you think, and I hope you enjoyed the little taste that I gave. But thank you. Take care. Oh, it's him, but without the. Okay.
The battle is over, I see. I do solemnly swear every living being and every living soul. Now cometh the age of the stars. 1,000-year voyage under the wisdom of the moon. Here beginneth the chill night that encompasses all, reaching the great beyond. Into fear, doubt, and loneliness, as the path stretcheth into darkness. Well then, shall we? My fair consort eternal,